I have lived long enough to see fortunes rise and fall like the tides. I have seen men accumulate sums so vast they could command entire industries, and I have seen those same men die penniless or despised. I have seen enterprises built on cunning schemes collapse within a season, while others, built upon solid principles, endured long after their founders had departed. And from all these observations I draw one unshakable conclusion. Wealth is fleeting, but character is eternal. The wealth of character is the only treasure that cannot be stolen, cannot be squandered, and cannot be corrupted by the passage of time. Money will buy you influence, but only integrity will preserve it. Fortune will build you a house, but only character will make it a home. Riches may command the attention of others, but only integrity will command their respect. I speak from experience. When I began my journey as a poor boy from Scotland, I had no money, no position, no inheritance. What I did possess was a name that had not been sullied, a willingness to labor, and a belief that a man's word should be as good as gold. In every humble position I filled, whether delivering telegrams or working in a factory, I learned that integrity mattered more than wages. Employers may not always have valued my skills, but they always remembered if I was honest, punctual, and trustworthy. That reputation became my true currency. As I ascended into the world of business, I never forgot that lesson. Men are drawn to those they can trust. Partnerships are built not upon cleverness, but upon confidence in a man's character. There were many more talented than I, many more brilliant in mathematics or sharper in negotiation. Yet, time and again, I was chosen as a partner or entrusted with responsibility because others believed I would keep my word. I recall vividly an instance when a large sum of money was left in my care during my early business days. It was a temptation, as any fortune would be to a young man with little to his name. But I knew in my heart that to misuse even a penny would be to forfeit the trust I had worked years to build. And so I guarded that money more closely than if it were my own. When it was returned intact, the men involved did not speak much of it, but I could sense their confidence in me had deepened. That moment, though invisible to the world, shaped my destiny. The paradox of wealth is this: money will magnify who you already are. If a man is dishonest, wealth will make him a greater thief. If a man is arrogant, wealth will make him insufferable. But if a man is honorable, wealth will give him the power to extend his influence for good. The character must come before the fortune, else the fortune will destroy the man. I have watched some of my peers amass riches through ruthless means, tricks, deceptions, exploitations. They celebrated their cleverness, laughing at those of us who sought to deal honorably. Yet where are they now? Their names are not spoken with admiration. Their families, often ashamed, squandered the inheritances left to them. Their legacies dissolved like smoke. For all their riches, they left behind nothing of value. Contrast this with those who, even without immense wealth, carried themselves with dignity and principle. Long after their deaths, their communities remembered them with gratitude. Their names adorned schools, libraries, and institutions because they were associated with trustworthiness and benevolence. This is the wealth of character. It builds a legacy that gold cannot purchase. As I grew older and wealth flowed into my possession beyond anything I could have imagined as a boy, I was often asked what money truly meant to me. I replied that money is but a tool, useful, powerful, but dangerous when misused. Character, however, is the foundation upon which that tool rests. Without integrity, wealth becomes a weapon of destruction. With integrity, wealth becomes a force for building, educating, uplifting. One of the great mistakes of our age is to measure men solely by their fortune. Newspapers may print figures of millions earned or lost, but they do not print the measure of a man's honor. A poor man of noble character is wealthier in truth than a rich man whose fortune rests upon deceit. For the former will be remembered with affection, while the latter will be cursed, even if his mansion still stands. The world is quick to praise success, but slow to ask upon what it is built. Do not be deceived by the applause of the crowd. Many will cheer a man for his riches, yet those same voices fall silent when his dishonor is revealed. But the man of integrity, though he may labor quietly, though his fortune may never reach the headlines, earns a wealth that is carried in the hearts of others. Integrity is not built in great gestures, but in daily choices. To keep your word when it costs you, to be honest when deceit would be easier, to treat others fairly when you might gain by oppression. These are the investments of character. They compound like interest until one day you find yourself rich in trust, rich in friendship, rich in peace of mind. There is a deep security in such wealth. A man who possesses integrity never fears exposure, for he has nothing to hide. His nights are not disturbed by dread of discovery. His associates defend him, for they know his word is sure. His enemies may slander, but slander cannot endure against the weight of an upright life. Some may argue that integrity slows advancement, that the ruthless surpass the righteous. But I tell you, the victory of dishonor is temporary. It shines briefly, like a match in the dark, before burning out. Integrity burns steadily, like the sun, lighting the way for generations. If I could leave one counsel to those who dream of fortune, it is this: guard your character above all. Fortune may desert you, but integrity will sustain you. Should wealth vanish, you can rebuild it if your reputation is intact. But if your reputation is ruined, even the greatest fortune cannot restore it. I built libraries, schools, and institutions with my fortune, but I know that what endures more than stone or steel is the belief people held in my honesty. That is why I tell you, integrity is wealth. It is not measured in coin, but in confidence. It is not counted in accounts, but in trust. And it outlasts money, for money will return to the earth, but character belongs to eternity. Let others pursue riches at the expense of their souls. Let us pursue the wealth of character, and we shall find that even if our fortunes fade, our influence, our honor, and our name will endure.